Prince Blade's Origins Chapter 1, A Strange Day.
Thank you, Twilight. Thank you. So, uh, this part of my life really hit me different. I thought Slash would have just, gone on his adventures without me. I got my portraits above my bed of my family, what they used to be. And I've grown to liking my new family, currently. Twilight was just there to help, really. She wasn't really there to be a girlfriend just yet. I wasn't ready to be going friendship and then boyfriend girlfriend. I wasn't ready for it just yet. So it was about early 7 a.m. in the morning. It was still dark out, that is. And I was the first to wake up, and I stretched out a little bit, and I went to the dressing drawer and found my dad's old jacket. Now, he never really had this to begin with. I just used it for my purposes. Plus, I can change the color on it if I wanted to. I pulled out the jacket and I turned it all gray and a bit of a dark gray. Because I wasn't ready for, the red jacket that was a little bit behind a glass container. Which, by the way, was his very first jacket. Mind you. And not long after, my daughter woke up, yawning and all. Sounded like a foghorn, like, and I'm pretty sure Twilight woke up minutes later, hitting her head on the floor on the way off the bed. And so my daughter went to the dressing drawer, got herself a black leather jacket, which was actually my mother's. And looking at my daughter, I'm like, you resemble my mom, and so do I. Guess it just runs in the family now. Now, Twilight noticed my mood is slightly improved since she technically moved in, you know? I haven't been looking back on the past that much. I've been mostly here in the present. And then, not long after she woke, she got out of the bed, she went to the dressing drawer, found herself a surprisingly jacket that fits her. I had to help her get the her wings through the holes in the back. It was funny. And not moments later, we thought about heading to the kitchen first, but we decided to get the rest of our morning routine done. So I decided to do my sit-ups and whatnot near the bed, feet under the bed, held down by the actual cover, the bed itself, while Shadow Sky was getting her gaming console up and running so she can game all day, considering she's just like me, but a little bit less training enthusiastic. Although she does have my fighting spirit, however, so she will be throwing a few punches, if you will. It's pretty good to know. And Twilight was just considering heading to her library today and just, read up on her stuff. And I actually asked her if I can come with, and she's like, sure, Prince Blade, I won't mind. I'm like, thank you. So, after we all got our stuff sorted, we went to the kitchen. It's kind of funny when I think about it, I thought I was gonna be, left alone in the house with one daughter, who, by the way, I named Shadow Sky. It just felt like I would be alone for all my life, without any help at all. And then Twilight showed up in my life, and I didn't think anything better at the time. I thought she was just gonna be a bit of a pushover, I assumed she was gonna make me feel bad about the whole thing. I didn't save her at all, Point being, I thought she was gonna rub it in my face, but turns out she didn't. She really is a kinded soul. I kind of like that in gals. So I was making the breakfast. Shadow Sky was gaming on the Xbox. By the way, I did have when I was a kid. I actually got one. She just played Fortnite around this time. Just on a whim. And by the way, since I recall I was a teenager around this time, and to my knowledge, Fortnite was around, what, 2011, 2012 at least? So, my daughter was already hand-packed on the game, playing and all. She talked a bit trash here and there on kids who who gave her trouble, and I'm like, daughter, take it easy. And she's like, I got it, Dad. Don't worry about it. Kids, am I right? Now, Twilight trotted into the kitchen when I was making the eggs, bacon, pancakes, the whole enchilada, the whole thing. And she, she flapped her wings to land on the counter next to me and said, Blade, are you feeling any better? And I'm giving her a look of, like, why you have to ask? This morning I would not be usually happy and go lucky. I mean, she could kind of see the look, kind of giving that, like, why do I have to ask? It's legit a happy mood right now. But she asked anyway, and I responded, I have been. I mean, I'm still trying to cope with the death, but I've moved on. Now, Twilight was about to blurt something out that would have given me a bit of a heart attack, knowing this was happening when I was asleep at one point in my life. She decided to keep this thing from me a secret. She knew this. Rainbow Dash came to her in spiritual form, like spiritual, and Twilight just hugged Rainbow Dash that night when I was asleep. But she's about to bring up the secret, but then she realized it's probably not best for Blade to know that she still lives through spiritual means, because that'll kind of kill the effect that he moved on. He's gonna bounce back or something. So she just, she just stood there. She just stood there on the counter, just watching me make my breakfast. And she was like, Blade, I think one of your bacon bits might be a little undercooked. And I'm like, Twilight, by all means, you're the princess of friendship, so I suspect you know everything, so go on ahead. And she happily obliged, without any question. She cooked the bacon to pure perfection. I mean, you could even smell the bacon, like the cooked bacon, from halfway across the neighborhood, like next to Sweet Apple Acres. It was that good and perfect. And so, when I took my food, aka my breakfast, got on the couch, I was looking at something in my father's collection box. He said only use this when needed. And I'm like, why would he leave this here with me? Like, it just didn't seem right, is all. Like, I don't know, it seemed out of place. But it also said underneath the box, don't open it until you're the age of 18. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Why is my parents trying to hide something from me all of a sudden? I thought I knew everything about them. So I didn't question anything about it at the time. I just played it off as a joke. Played it off. So, like, as the day went forward, I was just sitting on the couch watching my daughter play Fortnite. She got, like, 10 wins back-to-back, and I knew she had that skill because, I mean, was there even any doubt either? I mean, come on. She's my daughter. She's a prodigy like I am. And Twilight was over on the other couch, reading her books. I mean, you could see an entire mini Eiffel Tower stacked next to the couch. Legit books stacked like it, too. And I'm like, Twilight, are you okay? And then when she puts her book down, she's got bags in her eyes. I'm like, have you even blinked? And she kind of nodded like a shake of no. She hardly blinks when she's in her books. She doesn't blink. It was funny just seeing her, the fact that she didn't blink the whole time when she was reading her books. Just funny. And me scrolling through my phone, through the pictures I had of Rainbow Dash and me, snuggling together. Twilight, trotted over to me, sat next to me, in fact, and tried to snuggle with me to cope because she knew I couldn't take just looking at her, and I would, not be able to take it at all. Just the emotional part. I'm still dealing with the death for some reason. Still. And Twilight all of a sudden just speaks up and says, "Blade, it's okay. I mean, my parents are still alive, but I know they're gonna die one day. I mean, I just know what you're going through. The feeling that you took someone for granted. Trust me, I've been there." And I patted her on the neck with a bit of like a solemn rub, and I said, Thanks. I needed that." Now, my daughter was blasting music in her ears, not really minding the talk at all. Like, in the way she saw it, technically Twilight was the mother figure she needed in her life. Since Rainbow Dash wasn't around, Twilight was the one to fill the shoes. She didn't mind it, She was gonna be a born Pegasus. She only wished she was an alicorn, though. Only wish it. So as the next couple hours, come and gone, it's like almost 5 p.m. Almost the whole day was gone, just wrapped up. And then all of a sudden, I hear this fire tornado outside the house on the front porch. I mean, I hear it like a boom. Like, I don't know. It just sounded like a loud explosion. Now, Twilight immediately jumping on her hooves and me on my feet. I'm like, okay, that is not coincidence, right? And then she's like, yes, trust me. I've seen stuff like this all the time. And lo and behold, there he was. My dad. Now, my OC was exactly at the age of 13 when this was happening. Age of 13, teen years, still finding a love interest. It had nearly been, close to about 4 years, give or take? At least 4 years since he went on his missions with his friends, aka the Strikerverse at the time. Now, he was entering the years where he would have to either call retire for his little saving the multiverse and then pass it to me, or keep fighting till the day he dies, which, by the way, I know what he would say right now. He'd say in his tone, "Well, I'll fight till I die," is what he would say right now, if he was here. That's what he would say. And I opened the door, and I'm like, "Dad, what happened to you?" He's holding his Buster Sword as if it was a knife or something, and he had a slight unhappy face on, but I could tell he was hiding something. It was something about his look that gave it away. And then he, walked inside the house, and then he kind of gave Shadow Sky like a fist to her mane, just like rub it a little bit. And Shadow Sky's like, "Stop, Granddad, Grandpa. I mean, stop. It's hard to keep this thing trimmed." And Slash said, "Well, that's your business. I'll leave that to you." And when he looked at me and then looked slightly to the left, he asked me, "So who's this fine gal you got here? Last I recall, you were crying like you were crying a lot." And I'm gonna be honest, I have too. And then I said bluntly, "Twilight is here to keep me in check as well as my daughter. Rainbow Dash had a will, I think, I went to the bedroom to get the papers, and I hand them to Slash, and Slash is like, "Oh, so Rainbow Dash charged Twilight with taking care of you and your daughter, like financially and everything." And I said, "Yep." And I told him the whole spill about how she died, and not long after, he was like, "How could you let that happen? You legit just let her die. You could have saved her. And I said, how was I supposed to know she was returning? She didn't even call my cell phone. And Slash, thinking for a minute, is like, oh yeah, she did mention she was going to Equestria, but we don't even know where to go to get that far, you know? Most common things about these ponies, they seem to know where their homeland is, even though they've never really shown it to us. Weird, huh? Back to the point, though. Slash said, Blade, you probably should start, you probably don't want to punch me right now. Like, he said it in a weird way that was like, don't punch me right now. And I'm like, Slash, what did you do? And he said this word 3 times. And I was wondering what the heck he was saying. He said, chrysalis, chrysalis, chrysalis. And boom! A alicorn pony, I could tell because the horn was very unique. An alicorn pony that looks like somebody has not seen light in decades. I mean, holes in their body. I mean, legit body. Like, literal, like, actual holes. And I literally facepalmed because I realized what she was here for. And I asked Slash, so, where'd you pick up this fine gal? Now, Twilight really also asking that question too, but also knew who she was as well, considering her homeland was also Equestria as well as Rainbow Ashes as well. So basically, Twilight knew who she was. She just didn't say anything about it. To me, that is. And she finally introduced herself as Queen Chrysalis. And then she said, not moments later, I'm your stepmother. And I literally, like, passed out right there. Hit the floor. Just passed out. Shadow Sky facepalmed with the hoof, like, straight. You know? That's my dad for you. And then Twilight tried to wake me up. Like, she was pushing me, tugging me, I mean, slapping me. It was like a cartoon show, you know? Something out a cartoon show would have. And, like, and when I came back to clarity again, like when my eyes opened up, I still saw her, and then Slash said, yes, this is your stepmother. And I said, so, you care to answer what I was asking earlier? Where'd you find her? And then Slash said, in a bit of an angry tone, but a little sincere in there somewhere. You just couldn't see it, but if you knew him well enough, you'd see it. Well, if you must know, I found her on one of my little adventures with the Strikers. She was tired. She was in her cave, waiting for a fresh snack, and then Chrysalis said, a lover, not long after that, to correct Slash, considering she's still being reformed as we speak. Lover, said Slash, and then he said later, continuing, I decided to take her in, as if she was my wife. She was alone, she didn't have no friends. What were you gonna do if she was sitting there? Nothing to do. And then I looked at Twilight, and then she looked back at me. I guess friendship really is powerful around here. I figured as much. And then not long after, Chrysalis told Slash, can you prep my room, King Slash? And then Slash is like, Chrysalis, can we not use the royal title right now? We're not even married yet. I just saved you. And she's like, I don't care, whatever. You know, she didn't mind. And then she trotted off to the room where she was going to have her stuff set up. And I literally grabbed Slash by the cloak he wore that day too. And I said, what the heck were you thinking? Bringing her of all people here. Now, I may not have known their homeland or their origins that much, but I knew for certain the aura she brought with her, it may not be as big as like a dark aura, but it was there was still evil in that aura somewhere. You just gotta look past the bright, like aura that she brings in when she's being reformed. Like you could tell, it's there. And Slash grabbed my hand and said, "Let go of the cloak." And I said, "I'll let go when you explain why you brought her here." And then Slash said, literally rolled his eyes in annoyance and said, "Fine, if you must know. She needed a king." And I let go of the cloak and stuttered. Like, I walked back 2 steps and I asked, "What do you mean by that?" And he said, again, "She needed a king. She is of royalty, Blade. What do you want me to do?" And then, while Twilight was just trying to piece all this together, Slash walked up to my right ear and whispered, "She can change forms to suit your desires." And then me about to literally, I raised my hand about to slap him, but then again I realized why he brought her here was to fill the empty void in his life because Faye died at a young age, like 20 years. At the age of 20. And then I put my hand down, I'm like, "Go do what you want, Dad. I don't mind." And then he literally just dashed upstairs. And what came next was so crazy, if you will. It was late at night. Once again. It was like early, like 10, 11 p.m. or something like that. And all I could hear was from the room next to us. Like, my bedroom with Twilight and my daughter we all bunk in the same room, considering, like, one of the guest rooms got destroyed by a rampage that I had not long before this. It was like I accidentally set it on fire. I mean, just ruined us all. Beyond repair, at least. The room that I was sleeping in had a bathroom, and then the bathroom there had a room across from that. And all I could hear all night was that. I mean, in rapid session. I literally had to get earplugs in my ears. And Twilight couldn't even shut her eyes closed. She had to get, like, one of those, things that cover your eyes when you're trying to sleep better. She had to get one of those. And Shadow Sky literally banged her head on the bed, waiting for it to end. And next morning, I woke up feeling like crap. Twilight had bags in her eyes again. And Shadow Sky looked worse for wear because she couldn't, like, blink. She just couldn't blink. And Slash, walking into the kitchen not long after, said, "Whew, that was a good time." And then he looked at me and Twilight and Shadow Sky and asked, "What's up with you guys?" "We couldn't sleep because of all the banging from last night." And Twilight said, now she wouldn't talk in this tone that much. She always tried to keep her cool. But this time it was always, she just couldn't sleep. She's like, "Slash, please, for Celestia's sake, turn the banging down a notch, if you will." And Shadow Sky was about to turn to her dark form. I could tell by the aura next on my left that she was about to go all angry mode and just slap Slash senseless. I'm like, "Daughter, what did we say about getting angry?" And then she breathed in, breathed out, and she was fine. And plus, let's just say her forms also tie back to her powers of controlling the weather too. So depending on the form, depends on, it just determines what will be outside. So her dark form would have caused a hailstorm, like F5 tornado, hurricanes, like just big stuff all around. Crazy stuff. And Slash is like, "I had no control over that last night. Chrysalis wanted that to happen. I just gave it to her." And not long after, I started seeing these. Now, Slash knew what they were, but he saw these hatchlings walking around in our house now. Like, there was two of them, and then, like there was two at the time when this was happening. And I asked Slash, what did you do? And then Slash kind of rubbed the back of his head and said, well, the only way this, and he did air quotes, queen can ever have fulfillment in her life is having love stacked on a high note. And also, sometimes that love can produce hatchlings, he said nervously. And I'm like, Slash, how many times did you bang her last night? And he said in a weird tone, he said it in a tone that said nervous, but also terrified. He said, I think I banged her 1,000,000 times over last night, and my jaw dropped. Legit dropped. And I'm like, how did you do that in like less than 3 hours last night? That's insane. And then Slash played it off as, we're gods, Blade. We're not bound to the simple rules of what mortals do. Remember? And what was even weirder is when Chrysalis walked out of the bedroom. She was still asleep from all the chaos from last night, still. She walked out, her belly the size of a goddamn watermelon. I mean, the water... I think a medium-sized watermelon was the size. A medium-sized watermelon. She could hardly even walk before, like, she has to float a little bit just to walk around. And she's like, morning Slash, morning Blade, Twilight, Shadow Sky, and then she just walked into the bathroom. And I literally grabbed Slash. Now, he was still wearing that cloak from yesterday, but it was more repaired now. It wasn't all, bruised up, holes in it, So I grabbed him by the cloak, and I said, you better have found a way to keep them hatchlings under control, right? Because I prefer not having them running around here. Or at least spreading their whatever they carry. And I did air quotes there, too, because I was concerned that it's like a disease. If you overdo it, well, negative problems. And Slash said, I'll find a way. I'll probably make a pocket dimension or something where the hatchlings can run around on an infinite grass field. Infinite food. Like, I'll think of something, Blade. Don't worry about it. And so, when we all went back to sleep, mostly me and Twilight were trying to get my rest in, Shadow Sky was playing Fortnite day in, day out, getting like 20 kill games and victories. I'm like, I guess I can learn a couple things from her, And so as I laid back on the couch, as I laid back on my bed, just looking up at the ceiling, Twilight snuggled next to me, wings over me and everything. And Slash and Chrysalis were in the room across from us, just sleeping. I could hear snoring, so that was good. Guys, listen. I know this may seem a bit disappointing to you guys, but I'm probably not gonna upload for the next 3 weeks. So, I just wish you all the best of luck, and, just, I don't know, don't quit, keep holding on to hope. Slash would tell you, never quit until you drop. So, I guess I'll see you guys in the next 3 weeks. Bye.